Howdy everybody, it is Squidtard here, and well, I'm a little emotional to be honest. This is the last time, at least for the foreseeable future, that I will be able to make a hate video on a team that we're playing this year. Because obviously, this is the last game of the season for the Tennessee Volunteers, so yeah, it's a little emotional. So to show my gratitude to the last opponent that we'll be playing in the 2023 college football season, of course that being the Iowa Hawkeyes, please allow me to give y'all, the Iowa fan base, a little bit of a farewell montage. I would love to introduce to you a montage that I myself have made, all of the Iowa offense highlights. Please enjoy.
Whopper, 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 Junior, Double, Triple, Whopper, Flame Grill taste with perfect toppers. I rule this day.
Milton has time, gets it to Sampson. Sampson gets to the stick and 9. And to the end zone, another score, and it goes to Jacob Warren. Milton to the end zone, touchdown. Ramel keeps it. Right back to the tempo. Here it is, the tight end. Castle breaks the tackle to the end zone, touchdown. Milton, the end zone, caught, touchdown. Milton keeps it. First play. How about Joe Milton? He's in midfield. It's a foot race down the near side. Can anybody catch it? It's to the 10. It's a touchdown, Tennessee. Milton going up top. Passage caught in the end zone. Milton dialing long distance. And it is caught by Squirrel High. Rattler high and intercepted. Big six, Tennessee's come on at it. Yes, he did. From the 39. Williams reverses field. D. Williams heading to the goal line. Touchdown, Tennessee. End zone. Did he get it? Touchdown. Second down and 3. And Jalen Wright slings the tackle. Jalen Wright is off to the races. And gone. And now Milton off the play fake. Takes another deep shot toward the end zone for a touchdown. 17 yards. Sampson from the 12. Up the middle. Touchdown. Not sure we're going to see him today. May not need it. Wide open. I mean wide open. Ramel keep nobody within 20 yards of it. Milton doesn't care. He's going to throw it a mile down the sideline. And almost caught. Big opening off the right side. Off to the races and maybe gone. Jalen Wright. One snap. Touchdown, Tennessee. All day to throw. Wide open. Ramel Keith. Touchdown, Tennessee. Nico over the middle to Castles. Touchdown.
I've had years of cramped up city life, trapped like a duck in a pen. All I know is it's a pity life can't.
I'm trying to think. How should I go about this? How should I go about an Iowa hate video? It's almost impossible not to do it. You know what I'm talking about. It's almost impossible not to reach right under there and grab on to the low-hanging fruit. And everyone knows what I'm going to talk about. What else do I make fun of other than their offense? I mean, when you look at the state of Iowa, it's like a mutation of Nebraska. You got corn, you got mediocre football, and that's it. I imagine that most of you already know this if you've been following my channel for longer than today, but I run another channel not on here, but on my main channel over on Squidtard, and I make a lot of meme content on there. Now, what is a meme exactly? Well, if you're an Iowa fan, you're already familiar with the term meme. Not because you know what it means, but because you're living in one. You are living in a meme. That is literally what Iowa football is. You know, I make all the jokes about, Kansas as a playoff team and UTEP is winning 25 national championships and the Georgia Mickey Mouse program, which is a true statement though. But everything else, all of the memes that I've made on this channel and far more, they fail in comparison to the absolute meme that is Iowa football. Let me put it to you this way, all right? Take a look at Iowa's offense. Just take a good look at Iowa's offense. In fact, why don't you go look at Iowa, look at all their games this season, and check out all of the scores from their games. If you didn't know anything about football, you'd think you're watching baseball. Very rarely do college football teams have a score finishing out like 14-11 or 9-6. Or, 5-3. But if you're an Iowa fan, that's Tuesday that's literally every given Saturday for you. Every Saturday you come out and you get one of these low-scoring games where the defense scores more than the offense does. Every week. It's unreal. With USC, and of course all the memes surrounding their defense and all of their games are 62-57 and all that. As much of a meme that is, that's not nearly as funny as Iowa, they can't score a point. The offense cannot score a point to save their life. They have more yards in punts every game than they do yards of offense. They've been keeping this guy, Kirk Ferentz, around for eons. Kirk Ferentz was the head coach of Iowa football when the U.S. was fighting against the British in the Revolutionary War. Kirk Ferentz was sitting there in Iowa doing the exact same thing every single year, getting ready for another, 8-4, 7-5 season. Every single year. It's like a repeat thing. Now, Iowa did get lucky this year. In fact, Iowa kind of gets lucky every year because, you look at their schedule and you'll figure out pretty quick why that's the case. Anyway, let me get back to Kirk Ferentz for a minute. So Kirk Ferentz, his son, Brian Ferentz, was the offensive coordinator of the Iowa Hawkeyes all the way up until this season. Now, look, Iowa's offense has been terrible for years now. This is nothing new. Iowa's offense has not been, they haven't been revolutionary, if anything. Iowa usually comes out with a mediocre level offense, but they have a really, really good defense that bails them out in most of their games. That's kind of been the story of Iowa football. But 2022, Iowa's offense was so bad in 2022 that they came out with a new specialized contract for Brian Ferentz. He must score an average of 25 points this season. It could be every game, but I doubt that's the case. I think he's got to finish out the season with an average of 25 points per game this season. And, 25 points is difficult enough, but he does get the defense and the special teams to go along with it. Defense and special teams touchdowns do count in this scenario. So he's just got to hit an average of 25 points. If you have a game where you score 40 or 50 points, just one game, that bumps up the average by an indefinite amount. You guys know how averages work. You went to math class, I think. Iowa people are at least smart enough to do that. But okay, anyway. Point is, average of 25 points. He's got to hit that, otherwise they can him. You want to know what the average was for points per game this season for Iowa? Had to hit 25. 16. 16 points. 16 points. 16 points. Last in total offense, 16 points per game on average. That's unreal. You actually have to try to be that unbelievably bad on offense. It's harder to accidentally have a good offensive game than it is to score that low on an average. It's unreal. Now, with all that being said, you're probably asking yourself, how in the absolute corn on the cob did Iowa finish 10-3 this season? Or, 10-3. How in the world did they finish 10-3, averaging 16 points this season? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked it, did. The answer is very clear. They play in the group of 5. Squidtard, no, they don't play in the group of 5. They play in the Big Ten, Squidtard. That's no group of 5 conference. The Big Ten West. Hold up. Listen closely here. Listen closely. The Big Ten West. You get it? You get what I'm saying? The difference between the Big Ten East and the Big Ten West is night and day. One is a perennial powerhouse because they have teams like Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State to prop them up every year. The other one is a literal vacant lot of mediocrity. It's literally just doo-doo. It's just a big pile of poop. It just so happened that Iowa was the cherry on top of the doo-doo sundae. So yeah, Big Ten West, glorified group of 5 conference, group of 5 division. I'd go as far as to say that the Big Ten West might be on average worse than anything that's coming out of the ACC. And you guys know the ACC this season is absolute doo-doo. It's the biggest, stinkiest pile of crap I think I've ever witnessed. It's thanks to teams like Florida State that prop it up so much. If it weren't for them, oh my gosh, they'd be terrible. Now, I had to tell Clemson fans this exact same thing last year about their conference. They didn't want to hear it either, about how their conference is terrible and their record's only propped up because they played just a bunch of ice cream throughout the entire season. And of course, they didn't want to hear it. And what happened when the Volunteers played against Clemson in the Orange Bowl? Well, you guessed it. Tennessee went out there and put the absolute whooping of a lifetime on the Clemson Tigers. Back to the Big Ten West, though. I said it before. I mean, it's literally a vacant lot of mediocrity in that conference. I mean, you got Iowa, which, averaging 16 points a game, terrible, but they were playing against a bunch of other teams that did the exact same thing. Minnesota, Nebraska. Wow, Nebraska. Huh. Funny how that works, huh? Purdue. The list just goes on. Just a bunch of these teams that just did terrible offensively this year, and all of them ended up with scores like 16-14, 15-12, 9-6, 6-9. Nice. But you get the idea. No offense at all in that conference, in that division. Sorry. Don't mean to offend the other Big Ten, the 3 Big Ten teams that actually matter. And because of how terrible the Big Ten West was, Iowa was able to back their way into the Big Ten championship game. This is the last year of divisions for the Big Ten. Divisions are going to be completely cut out once teams from the Pac-12 join the division, or join the conference, So, yeah, it's not looking good for Iowa because you can't average out 16 points a game and expect to beat teams like Oregon or Washington or Michigan or Ohio State or Penn State. And unfortunately, once divisions are cut out, you're going to have to do that in order to make the Big Ten championship game. So, congratulations. You went to the Big Ten championship game for the courtesy of scoring absolutely jack diddly doodah squat like everybody kind of expected you to. And unfortunately for you, the road doesn't get easier because now, after playing a bunch of terrible offenses, and then after playing Michigan is a really good offense, now you have to play the best offensive mind in all of college football, Mr. Josh friggin' Heupel. The offense can't do nothing against Iowa that Iowa defense, Squidtard, Iowa defense. Joe Milton ain't gonna do nothing against it. Joe Milton can't hit the brush out of a bar, Squidtard. You heard the news yet? Heard the news? Most of you have, but you're from Iowa, so it wouldn't surprise me if you didn't. Got some big news for you. Joe Milton ain't playing in this game. You know who is, though? You know who is? Mr. Nico, I'ma love you. That's who the starting quarterback is going to be. And Joe Milton's going to be there in person. It's not like he's just going to disappear on the team. Joe Milton has a thing called loyalty, and he's going to stick it out for this team. And he's going to go out there and watch Nico burn y'all alive. And I'm going to enjoy every last part of it. So, Iowa, congratulations on a 10-win season. Congratulations on being able to score the lowest average of any college football team in America, but still finding a way to hit that 10-win mark. That's impressive, all things considered. You are one of the biggest memes in college football, and I think that deserves respect. Somebody needs to build a trophy for Iowa, and they need to hang it up at the highest spot possible in the Iowa Stadium and call it Meme of the Year 2023. That deserves a gigantic trophy, even bigger than that gigantic Pop-Tart in the bowl a few days ago. All things considered, Iowa, I've got some bad news for you, and some great, fantastic news for me. The Tennessee Volunteers, with Nico, I'ma love you at the helm, are going to go into Orlando and put the whooping of an absolute lifetime on the Iowa Hawkeyes. Go Vols, baby! And Iowa, we'll see you next year. Happy New Year!
Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Oh, and by the way, Vols are going 16-0 next year. You can bank on that.